Breaking news in a CBS Sports HQ. Serena Williams, one of the greatest players in tennis history, has been eliminated in the third round of the U.S. Open by Ajla Tomljanovic. Earlier this month, Serena announced her retirement, with the U.S. Open likely to be the last stop on her farewell tour. During Serena's historic career, she won 23 Grand Slam titles in singles. That is second to only Margaret Court's 24. Since making her professional debut back in 1995, Serena has amassed 73 singles titles and 14 Grand Slam doubles titles alongside her older sister Venus. Serena also laid claim to 4 Olympic gold medals and $94 million in prize money, a legend in the sport who's left an indelible mark on this generation and the generations to come. Somewhat non-committal, although, in her goodbye. Career complete as Serena Williams waves goodbye. Center court at Arthur Ashe Stadium. In this arena, sport that is, we measure success in numbers, and here are those numbers. But the impact of Serena Williams on this sport and all sports goes far beyond 23 Grand Slam titles. And for instant reaction, we say hello to one of the greatest ever on the mic, a member of the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Lesley Visser joins us now. Lesley, it is truly an honor to share this moment with you as we try and put an unimaginable legacy here into words. Before we go big picture, I am interested in your thoughts here on this match specifically. Maybe some unnecessary energy spent there in the second set by Serena. What was the turning point in this match in your eyes?
Well, I think, and it's great to join you, Joe, I think that Serena was just kind of gassed at the end. I mean, we saw all the aspects of her game that are enormous. We saw her serve, we saw her swinging volley, we saw her hit the lines, but Tomljanovic just traded the baseline strokes with her. She was not intimidated. She never lost her composure. And I think when Serena had that 4-love lead in the second set, well, she let the first set get away, and then she must have really been pained to let the second set slip away like that. But it doesn't take away anything from the joy she's given us for 23 years. No doubt about it, and specifically this last week plus, what she was able to summon. We do have the thankless task now of trying to put this career into words. 23 Grand Slam titles is one measurement. A pop culture tour de force is another. Somewhat non-committal in her goodbye on Friday night, but if this is the last we've seen of her on court, what's going to be the lasting image in your mind? Her legacy is both on and off the court. You know, she certainly became one of those crossover athletes. We don't see many of them. You know, you can say Tiger is global, Michael Jordan is global, certainly Serena is global. And the fact that you can be a performer on that stage for so many years, for decades. You know, she's one of only 3 people to win Grand Slam titles in her teens, her 20s, and her 30s, and she won 10 of them in her 30s. And I remember I was there in '99 when, you know, she had the braids, and you could see that she was not going to let anyone else define her. And I think that's been great for society, that she was going to be Serena Williams. She came from Compton. She never forgot it. And yet everyone embraced her. I mean, you saw there's Anna Wintour and Seal and Russell Wilson and President Clinton and Dr. Ruth. You know, how many people have that kind of crossover in life?
No doubt about it. A true who's who in the stands to watch her over this last week. As you alluded to, her first Grand Slam triumph coming all the way back in 1999, and I was there moment as a 17-year-old, but most recently succeeding in 2017, her last Grand Slam title. It had been some time since we saw her raised to this level of play that we saw over the last week plus. Specific to this last week, how did she summon this in your eyes?
A couple of things. She had started playing against players out at the Open practicing, so that her movement got so much better than even it was in Cincinnati when Emma beat her. And so I think she knew that she could call on her serve when she had to. But today she just was run from side to side, and she did come to the net quite a bit, and most of it worked, but enough of it didn't. She got past a couple crucial times. But I think there is something in her. It's a fire that most people don't have, that probably Russell Wilson and all her fans, you know, identify. I saw that even Lewis Hamilton, another, I would say, crossover athlete, even Lewis Hamilton said he's been inspired by Serena Williams.
It is truly something special to watch these Mount Rushmore type talents, be supported by others that could share that same stage with them. And this was truly one of those moments over the last week. And maybe the means by which she exits here on Friday night, forcing 6 match points before saying goodbye, battling through that second set, Lesley. Outside of hoisting another trophy, was this the fitting end to the career that was?
Yeah, she went out the way she came in, a fighter to the end, an inspiration. She's crossed all racial boundaries now by pushing through them. And the fact that, she went through so much personally. I mean, it wasn't easy. Unorthodox to be coached by her father, not from a country club. And of course, Arthur Ashe and Althea Gibson were the first to break through. And then our own Katrina Adams at CBS and Zena Garrison. But she absolutely has shown that she brought power. She brought a serve no one had ever seen to the game. And her competitive fire was as great as anyone in any sport.
So much more than 23 Grand Slam titles could ever measure. And it is not our place to make the decision, but maybe we ponder upon it here. Do you believe that we have seen the last of Serena on court?
I do. I think that I remember when Martina lost to Conchita Martinez in her last Wimbledon final, and she took a little tuft of the grass and she walked off, and the great Bud Collins was there to interview her, and he said, "Martina, is this it?" And Martina stopped for a moment and she said, "Yes, it's enough." And I think Serena, who, she's a venture capitalist now and she's a global icon and she wants to seed female-run companies. So I think she will say it's enough. I mean, maybe we'll see her in doubles, but I don't think in singles.
Lesley, we appreciate you stopping by to put this moment into words as Serena Williams says goodbye at the U.S. Open. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, the tides, they are returning as this era of GOATs continues, rolls on, and in some cases comes to a close. Serena Williams, a lukewarm goodbye at the U.S. Open as she's knocked out here in the third round, the 23-time major champion, waving to the crowd perhaps for one last time as this era of greatness continues to come to a close with Tiger's future in doubt. Tom coming down the twilight years, and LeBron, well, we'll see how many more rings he can put on his finger as well.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.